So another episode of Data Shark. Super exciting to have Amir, General Manager of eBay Israel. Maybe you can start by introducing yourself.
Hello, Omri. Nice to meet you. Hello, everybody. My name is Amir Di-Nur. I'm the General Manager for eBay Israel. That is my secondary role within eBay. My first role is an R&D group leader, which calls a product knowledge base.
Which we will discuss shortly. So first of all, listen, I have like gazillion questions for you, but we're in the business of data and data-driven decisions and AI, and obviously the world of e-commerce, which is one of the largest retail industries in the world, has fundamental reliances on data. And I'm curious, I'm sure that eBay probably sits on, I don't even know if it's terabytes of data. It's probably petabytes and beyond that. And I'm super curious, like, what's the big usage of data with eBay?
Yeah, data is being used everywhere, really, meaning it's in the fundamentals of what we do. In order to understand what a seller is trying to sell, and we need data. We need to understand what are the possibilities of what we might sell. In order to be able to understand what the buyer is trying to buy, we need to understand its intention. We need to be able to detect the exact product that he is looking for. And the means to do that in the scale, which is eBay, is only through AI and the ability to train different models to be able to seamlessly almost answer this type of questions or serve this kind of tasks. That's in a very nutshell.
Oh my God!
It's everywhere.
Of course, it's mind blowing. The fact that it's almost like a bank, right? Bank doesn't have anything but for data. It's all numbers. So e-commerce almost has the same fundamentals.
Yeah.
Can you share some numbers? Like, what is the size of, I don't know, the traffic, number of people, merchants? Like, you're selling everything. It's not just new stuff. It's everything.
Yeah, so eBay is selling everything, and selling everything by anyone, might be anyone, and from not just what's new. It can be things from the way past up to the 18th century or whatnot. So in terms of magnitude, we have over 1 billion items within our inventory.
Wow.
We understand over billions different products. If we're talking about magnitude of data, where my organization is working with data, understanding our inventory, organizing it into the notions of products, where, again, we are selling everything and we are not working directly with the manufacturers. We need to understand that information automatically in huge scale and in any means possible. And these means are evolved very fast. The data was always there for us as eBay, but the means are evolving now very quickly with the introduction of LLM, generative AI, and the AI in general.
So it's obviously this is one of the best examples for utilization of data to drive outcomes, right? So starting from generative AI, describe a product, help me buy something. What is the most common implementation of Gen AI or LLMs, in that category?
Well, LLM is new, and is new also for us, obviously, and is now being integrated. We are starting to integrate LLM as part of our solutions within eBay. A few examples which I can provide. Let's say you are trying to list some product. You are not the original seller of that product. You don't know much about that product. You know a few things that you can describe about this product, specific attributes about that product. We can, for example, automatically generate high-quality descriptions for your product. You can give us a few images. They might not be in a very high quality. We can automatically improve your images in order for them to be better presented for a buyer. So these are just few examples. Now, generative AI is about generating new things. AI is wider than that, and large language model can do different things, like understanding language, not just speaking back, but understanding, classification. And LLM in general, the power of LLM is part of it is about how general that model is and how big that model is, and it allows us to accelerate our development of other types of model which are more concrete, more precise to specific needs. And in order to train these models, we need a lot of human judgment. We need to get signals about what's true, what's not true. And the LLM can accelerate our ability, for example, to generate that training data for other algorithms. So again, the LLM is directly being integrated within our solutions to generate new stuff, but also to accelerate our internal development processes for different areas of our.
So descriptive AI or generative AI can help sellers like maybe potentially myself quickly and easily upload a new merchant into an eBay platform.
And they have it in high quality in terms of description, images, and other. It all can also allow us to communicate in a more intuitive, natural way with our application, with our search engine. So that's another application that we might introduce with LLM. Another application is, let's say I have a car. I might ask this kind of big models, how can I improve? There's a lot of enthusiastic, how do you say that? People who are really into cars and improving their cars. I can ask my model, my search engine, for example, a more general questions than ever before. How would you suggest that I improve my Cadillac 70 model, whatever? Or what are the best selling features to improve or to speed up my car?
Interesting. So all of a sudden, you really have a salesperson, almost it feels like a human salesperson inside a digital platform that can push more products towards my way.
Eventually, we would like your experience on e-commerce to be as natural as real-life experience. Imagine you are going to a store which you are visiting very often. The seller already knows you, knows your preferences. He asks you, what are you looking to do now? Do you want to see what's new in my collections? Do you know what specific things do you want to buy? And you know exactly what you have in inventory, how to find it, and to suggest to you either the exact thing that you are looking for or things that might inspire you to look for other things. Now, if we could do that within e-commerce automatically at scale, that is the big promise.
So one of the biggest kind of barriers or gatekeepers for brick and mortar companies or stores were the experience. Basically, what you're saying is that we can mimic to a certain degree the experience in the store in an online platform.
We are aiming to do that in different ways. In your ability to browse and visually browse, with your ability to communicate and ask and to browse and to search. You will never be able probably to feel your product.
Who knows? Listen, the matrix is here.
Smell it. There are other things which are more physical in nature. But there are different. There are other barriers, physical barriers, which other companies try to mitigate. For example, the time of shipping. When you are going to the store, one of the fun things that people like is putting my money. I'm getting what I purchase. I can now. I get a kick out. Maybe you get a kick of it. Yes. So minimizing the delivery time, making it even today, things of this nature also part of the challenges.
Interesting.
At e-commerce in general.
Interesting. And maybe changing a little bit tacts just to at least understand a little bit the role of eBay in Israel and the team that you're leading. and how that influences the whole of eBay?
So let's start with eBay Israel. In general, eBay Israel, it's an R&D center. It's eBay's way to tap into the Israeli talent. So different R&D organizations within eBay decided that they want to start hiring talent at Israel. So that's what our R&D center is. Now, within our R&D center, the main group is my organization, which is a product knowledge base. Our role is to understand everything that there is to understand and to know about products. And once a buyer is trying to look for products, to be able to provide him the right product with the right information at the right time. Information about the product itself, about how it behaves in the market, about relationships with other products, and to empower his ability to make decisions. So that's my group organizations. We have scientists, data scientists, researchers, data analytics, engineers, ML engineers, UX, all across. We also have other groups within eBay that are involved in improving buyer experience, recommendations, for example, again, involved with a lot of AI, machine learning. We have a few teams which involves in building eBay's core tech or our design or our data centers themselves.
Yes. So you're in charge of knowledge. Knowledge is data. And it's so mind-blowing that it's almost surreal to ask so many questions. But what is the most fundamental change that you see maybe in the last 3 years since the introduction of AI that influenced the buyer's journey inside eBay? You mentioned, improving the presentation of the products, the descriptions, but it feels like there is an ocean of improvements that can come from those new technologies.
Yeah. So if I'm looking specifically at eBay, and in terms of experience, not under the hood improvement that improves overall eBay's KPI, but the end user not necessarily feels that his experience changed. Maybe it's more accurate, but it doesn't, not tangible for him.
Right.
If you want to sell something, we want to make it easy for you, and you don't necessarily need to know everything that there is to know about that item or product you are trying to sell. So one nice experience as an example is the ability for you, for example, to take a picture of whatever you are trying to sell. Let's say a sneaker shoe or a sport trading card. You take the picture of that image and we automatically are able to understand what product is it that you are trying to sell and to provide you all the information about that product for you to list your item into our inventory. I hope my kids
will not watch this episode. Because they might be a very big fans of that feature.
Yeah. So that is an amazing promise. We are now able to do that in certain verticals, and we are hoping, aiming to deploy that eventually horizontally. Now imagine you have a storehouse and you take a picture of that entire wall and you're saying, I want to list all of that. Let's do that automatically. That really change them.
I think that in retail specifically, the data and AI and the importance of the capturing of data is critical, right? In e-commerce, and obviously eBay sits on massive amounts of historical data that allows you to build probably your own large models. Could be LLMs, could be anything. What kind of roles exist inside eBay that are responsible for that experience? So you mentioned data scientists, citizen data scientists probably, but I'm sure that there's a huge team that is all about data and
yeah, it's more than just a team. It's about first. One of the things that are nice about eBay, though it's a big corporate, at the end of the day, we are all working on one big product. And that product is the eBay platform. If you are from the seller experience, buyer experience, advertising or search, you are dealing with items which sellers added to our inventory, and with buyers which we are looking to get inspired or find something to buy. So we are all working on the same data items. What the buyer is looking for, what is the seller is coming to sell, and we share that information. So it starts with an organization that keeps that information and make it available for everyone to use. It continues with our tech platform organization, which is parallel to the core product organization. These are huge organizations with thousands of engineers, which is responsible for building eBay's data centers for serving and for development. Apart, among others, that means providing the data scientists across the entire core product where we are actually developing the experiences, the ability to train this ML model and now these LLM models and multimodal models that include both images and text in parallel, and to do that at scale. So we have an organization that is responsible for the raw data. We have an organization that is responsible to build the capabilities to train this model and to infer and to actually use them in production. And then we have another organization within Core AI, which is responsible to build the most general purposes model. Different types of model, NER, large language model, and now these models are being used by the different core product organizations where we are taking these models or others. We are not limited just to these models, and we are fine-tuning them, fine-training them for our specific applicative needs with our specific data. Okay? Now, within each organization, almost today at eBay, which is new. When I joined eBay 3 years ago, it's a transformation. We had scientists in product knowledge, we had scientists in other areas, but the significance of them and how important they are in each organization, that's shifted significantly in the last 3 years. So in seller experience, in buyer experience, in search, in product knowledge, in advertising, each organization has its own data scientist teams that are training their own model for their purposes. Sometimes they're doing reuse, sometimes they're not, and they're using the infrastructure that eBay is providing.
Interesting. So maybe, a little bit about the future and where e-commerce, maybe, I don't know if you're able to share about what is happening with eBay, but generally speaking, what's the future of e-commerce? It feels like it's going to continue to take over retail. Eventually, that's going to be the only platform where we're going to purchase merchants. But what is the next step?
That's a big question.
It is, but if maybe from the perspective of data and knowledge and the ability to actually take advantage of the assets that I
try to describe my perspective and my challenge and within that domain. And my challenge within that domain is to allow the interactions between the buyer and our applications to be natural, seamlessly, in a natural language, in simple supplying simple images, and allowing to convert and connect on the inventory. Now, I'm describing something that is quite, from the engineering perspective, it's a little bit technical, but that from the end user perspective, today, when you are looking at for things, you are using specific language, and our users at eBay, they already knows how to use our search engine specifically in order to find that. We have a very powerful search engine, and it's make it possible for all our veteran users within eBay to use and to find, but it's harder for new users to use it.
Interesting. I didn't even think about that challenge.
So providing a more natural communications capabilities for that to be easier, so you will not need to learn any new skill, you will just operate as you operate in the real world. That's, in my mind, a high-level challenge, and it's a huge challenge. We have a great technology, we have a lot of data, and we are doing unbelievable progress, which was hard to imagine a few years ago, but still there's a big way to go.
Is it maybe only because it's super interesting, but we're using NLP and NLQ, natural language querying and natural language programming, but generative BI eventually almost retired those technologies to a point where people are saying, okay, whatever, but I just want to type in free text. Is that basically what you're referring to? Like, I want to buy a new pair of shoes. I like them red. I'm size 8.5, and I want them to be cool.
Yes, and maybe I want them to be in the style that is similar to this celebrity which I saw on that specific show. So can we know who is that celebrity, what he wore at that show, and can we find something that is similar in style to what he wore? When you are going to a clerk, you can tell, you see that picture? You know him. I want to look for something similar at style. Right. So can we match something similar visually? And there's a lot of startups and other companies which are trying to do that already. I was involved in a startup company that was trying to do similar things way back. So
basically, I can upload a picture to eBay and say, I want something like that.
Yes, you can do that already today. I want to list something, to sell something like that. I want to find something that is similar to that in its style or in its functionality. And our role is to find it to you. Part of my organization role is to build this product knowledge base. The promise of product knowledge base is that given any product that a buyer might look for or a seller might look to list, we will be able to understand what that product is. We will be able to provide for you the information about that product, the title, images, and the key attributes. But beyond that, we will be able to provide you insights about how that product behaves within our marketplace. Which other product does that product relate to? There can be accessories to that products, other products that complementary that look, or products that are competing with that product, and the ability to provide you all that information and the exact information that you need to make decision at a specific journey. That is my organization challenge.
So you basically have the world's biggest catalog of all products available out there.
Possibly. I don't know. Possibly.
Wow, that's mind blowing. Yeah. So the idea is eventually to own a massive catalog that I, as a potential buyer, will be able to find anything I want to buy, and you will be able to identify for me the product that I didn't even know that I'm about to go and purchase, and what else I can buy with that product.
And to provide you the information about that product, and to let you know maybe that about a week ago the average sale price was like that, and today the average sale price it's different, and to understand that behavior. Or let's say you are looking for a specific Air Jordan sneaker. Okay, it's not specific enough. There are a lot of different types of Air Jordan. So that is the most top seller Air Jordan, and that is the most rare one, and that is the most expensive one. And what color do you want? So all that information, and to provide all that information for you, that is our role. If we'll take, for example, another domain, collectibles. Collectibles are big at eBay. If you want to understand whether what is your collection, is it whole? Is it contain the most important items within that specific collections? How do you provide that information? We need to have a complete understanding of the domains of sport trading, of these collectibles. And not necessarily in eBay, though we have the most information than any other platform that I know of, not necessarily we have the entire information. So how can I promise that? I need to go beyond the borders of eBay to collect the entire information to fulfill that promise. That I will be able to tell you, you are missing these 2 specific cards in order to complete your collection. And for example.
Interesting. So basically, your organization is responsible to allow me the seamless buyer's journey. That I can totally get it, how AI is a massive part of improving that experience. Is it like the big part of it is finding the items? Is it about labeling them? Is it automatically? Is it...
Now, if I want to provide best-in-class service to our buyers, hopefully I know a little bit something about that buyer. I know its preferences. I know what he bought in the past. I know if he's looking to the high end or to opportunities. Okay? And then on the specific journey that he is at now at eBay, that journey is also dynamic. It might be that he comes with the specific notions of what he wants to buy. If I would understand that his intent, that he is looking for something specific, I will try to convert him as fast as possible. If I see that he's browsing and I don't understand he's trying to look for inspiration or in browse mode, the results that I'm providing for him are different. So understanding the intent in that specific journey is another step. The third step is in each query, in each tab he click, is to understand what product is he looking for. And a product can be something general like a sofa or a L-shaped leather sofa, red leather, and so on, more and more specific. And how do I provide what he's looking for while when do I convert? When I'm open more opportunities, I need to understand that. Once I know that, what he's looking for, now I have retrieval, I have to organize the information in a way which is will be able to him to digest, understand, make decisions that about organizing the information, about UX. And even that is adaptive to the user, adaptive to the specific vertical domain in which we are looking at. Is it fashion, collectibles? Is it about cars? The experience might look different. So the overall buyer experience is a very complex journey. There are a lot of different teams that optimize toward that, and my organization is just one portion of that, important one, of providing the product information and the accurate product information.
Interesting. I have a left field weird question for you. So
Yes.
We're in Israel, which everybody talks about, startup nation and country. We're about tech. And eventually e-commerce here in Israel is not as big as it could be, should be. Definitely not like maybe in the US. Is there an explanation why Israel didn't pick up on e-commerce the way it should?
In terms of e-commerce in general and why, it's hard to me to tell.
Yeah,
Specifically for eBay,
okay.
For Israel,
Listen,
not for eBay.
I always thought that it could be because of fulfillment centers. Like the experience, I think you said it at the beginning, that you want to get the product instantly, right? Yes. We have immediate gratification. I want to go to the store, get the product. It almost feels like every time you're buying online, even from Israeli stores, it's like 14 days delivery, even though it could be around the corner from your house.
That's very likely the biggest barrier, because we are not the seller itself. We are a marketplace that allow others to sell whatever they want at eBay. Now, how do you generate that trust for the end consumer to trust the seller that he doesn't know? So we are building a lot of different mechanisms to allow that trust. For example, if you buy a luxury item at eBay, like a luxury watch or a sneaker, which is kind of collectibles, we have centers of authentication guarantees with experts where the item, the product is being shifted first to the authentication guarantee, you get a stamp, and then you get it. We obviously have, the seller grading and other things which you can review and see. But
so, last question, and it's been super fascinating, and I think I definitely lost track of time. But AI is obviously taking over. I think we're in a point where we're augmenting AI with humans. I think we're still pretty far from allowing AI to completely replace us. But what do you think is the impact of us as developers of those technologies on the outcome of AI? Like your catalog, the way you drive people to purchase items. Do we still have control over that technology?
I think we still do have control over that technology, but that technology becomes more and more powerful, and it's exponential. So I can speak to what's now. And generally speaking, controlling technology is something that it becomes more and more difficult. Technology becomes more and more available, which has its own hazards. Specifically today, we can still, obviously, and maybe in the future as well, and there's a lot of work being done towards that, control our models and AI. And we can do that by controlling how we train and what kind of training data we provide to these models. We can control it by allow programmatically to put in place limitations and safeguards, and to allow auditing of the results or the models themselves. Now, that's a big topic. It's a new topic. And within eBay, internally, we are coping with it as well. Obviously, it's crucial. It's crucial for us.
AI governance?
AI governance, and how do you do that systematically? Yeah.
But you know, we're obviously dealing with it as well. We're not eventually the producers of the way people are using our tools with AI, but it's a concern. And it feels like our end users' incentive is to continue to push the limits, because it definitely improves the experience. Where do you draw the line? It's a good question.
It's a good question.
We can leave it an open question.
It's an open question. It's a question for all of us.
Yes.
And again, it's a big question because the availability of the technology, it's unparalleled, obviously.
Yeah.
And it will continue that way. We all remember in the past, we talked about it before, where we used to limit the use of specific computers and other things. And today we have these autonomous machines which can work with AI, and it's available for everyone almost.
Yeah, there's no technology barrier anymore. Like everybody
hardly.
Right? It's almost surreal the way you can leverage the implementation of tech stack and do almost everything. As long as your imagination allows it, you can take over the world.
Yeah, let's hope that eventually the positive human spirit will prevail.
Human spirit. We'll finish with that. Amir, thank you so much. It was fascinating. I can ask you 50 million other questions, but thank you for taking the time. And it was super exciting and interesting. And thank you.
Thank you very much.
Much appreciated. Same here. Thank you.
Thank you.